The movie opens with a scene of hustle and bustle at Boston International Airport, where passengers are rushing to board their flights amidst the pandemonium. Among the throng is Clay, a disenchanted artist who left his wife Sharon and their son Johnny a year prior in pursuit of his aspirations. He is on his way back to Manchester with the intention of reuniting with his family. Clay manages to get in touch with Sharon via his mobile phone, but their conversation is abruptly ended when his phone battery depletes. In a state of panic, Clay looks for an available charging port, but his efforts are fruitless. Feeling powerless and disappointed, he resorts to using a payphone to reach out to his wife again, resolute in his determination to reconcile with his family. However, Sharon's reaction is not what he had anticipated. She reminds him of his year-long absence, indicating that things have changed and are not as straightforward as they once were. Despite the discouraging circumstances, Clay remains resolute in his determination to mend things with his family. As he was about to use the payphone, he noticed that those using their phones began to convulse uncontrollably. Some were frothing at the mouth, their faces contorted in pain. Others even started to assault their fellow passengers. The airport descended into chaos, with terrified people running in all directions in a state of panic. A woman attempted to call the police, but as soon as she picked up her phone, she immediately exhibited the same symptoms. She then lost control, crashing into a concrete wall until her face was horribly disfigured. Witnessing this terrifying scene, Clay had a sinking feeling. A chef seized a sharp knife and charged at Clay, but Clay reacted swiftly, using his briefcase to block the knife. The police, mistaking Clay for one of the affected individuals, pointed a gun at him. Upon realizing Clay was uninfected, the police shot a chef-turned-zombie. As the number of mutants increased, Clay, unarmed, was forced to follow the armed police to escape. Upon reaching the second floor, they were ambushed by zombies, forcing Clay to retreat to the ground floor. He sought a temporary hiding spot, but an exploding plane was hurtling towards the airport hall. Zombies pursued Clay as he fled into the subway station, narrowly escaping the explosion. Despite his efforts, he couldn't evade the zombies. Oddly, the zombies halted upon entering the subway station, seemingly losing their signal. Seizing the moment of chaos, Clay managed to escape, but as he caught his breath, a man appeared behind him, intent on killing him. Fortuitously, another man intervened just in time. Once Clay's safety was confirmed, he was pulled into a subway car filled with survivors. Clay urged everyone to evacuate due to a massive fire caused by the plane explosion. The terminal was consumed by fire. However, the train couldn't start because the control center had cut the power. Tom, the train driver, suggested the only escape was on foot through the tunnel. A plan met with disagreement. Tom warned that their safety was fleeting, as the tunnel would flood within 24 hours due to unattended underground water. Ultimately, only Clay and a young man decided to accompany Tom. They promptly left the subway car and were about to exit the tunnel when they were blocked by several figures. Uncertain if they were zombies or humans, they hesitated. A zombie suddenly killed the young man who was about to investigate. They rushed to assist. The noise attracted more zombies at the exit. Their only option was to climb a ladder leading outside. They barricaded the iron door with a trash can, thinking they were safe, only to discover the city had fallen. They needed to find a hiding place. Clay's studio was conveniently nearby, so they sought refuge there. Once settled, Clay's thoughts turned to his family. Unable to make a call, he attempted to text them using Tom's phone. However, the text transformed into an unrecognizable code and couldn't be sent. As they deliberated their next move, a sudden knock on the door startled them. After confirming the visitor's identity through the peephole, Clay opened the door to find Alice, their upstairs neighbor. She was bloodied, wielding a knife, and appeared traumatized. Clay suggested she clean up and change her clothes. Despite the likely loss of his wife, Clay decided to return home at dawn, believing his seldom calling son to be uninfected. Upon hearing Clay's plan, Tom and Alice agreed to accompany him. Sticking together was their best chance of survival. As dawn broke, they observed the zombies' group behavior, resembling an organized gang. Discovery would mean certain doom. Once the zombies dispersed, they stealthily ventured onto the street. They noticed a group of zombies spinning in a circle, causing confusion. A motorcycle zoomed past, oblivious to their attempts to flag it down. The zombies spotted the motorcycle too late for the riders to escape. The zombies descended upon them, tearing them apart. Witnessing this gruesome scene, they seized the opportunity to flee. They ran to the outskirts, spotting a house with a legal gun sign. They surmised the house would be stocked with weapons. They entered the house, finding the long-deceased owner, but also a cache of weapons and equipment. Armed with these, they felt reassured that they could protect themselves from zombie bites. However, at that precise moment, Alice caught sight of a young boy happily swinging on a swing set just beyond their window. Assuming he was a fellow survivor, they ventured outside to investigate further. To their dismay, they noticed that the boy clutched onto a dog, but it soon became apparent that the dog was no ordinary canine. It was a zombie. Naturally, zombies seldom act alone, and true to form, several others lurked behind a sizable tree, concealed from view. Realizing the imminent danger, Alice and their companions swiftly fled from the scene, with the relentless zombies hot on their heels. What made matters worse was that the pursuing zombies brandished weapons, heightening the perilous circumstances. If the zombies managed to catch up, a grisly demise seemed inevitable. Engaging in a desperate struggle, they fought back and retreated, eventually finding themselves in a state of panic as they reached the river. In a state of despair, they realized there was no viable escape route in sight. However, as luck would have it, when the pursuing zombies finally closed in on their location, they inexplicably failed to detect their presence. It turned out that Alice and their companions had cunningly concealed themselves beneath a nearby wooden boat. The zombies did not immediately depart, seemingly meting out a form of punishment. In an eerie display, the zombies faced the same direction and emitted peculiar, unsettling noises. This bewildering spectacle left Alice and their companions utterly perplexed, their expressions mirroring the confusion they felt. The inexplicable episode persisted for several minutes before the zombies eventually departed from the area, leaving Alice and their companions to cautiously resume their journey. Once they confirmed the safety of the surroundings, they ventured outside. Tom speculated that the gathering of zombies might be attributed to the setting sun and an unknown compelling force. Clay observed that when one zombie spotted them, the rest would swiftly follow, as if sharing a collective vision. They speculated that these zombies could potentially function like cell phones, communicating with each other through a network signal. With night approaching and their destination awaiting, they pressed on, when suddenly they heard music playing in the distance. Intrigued, they followed the sound, leading them to a school where an unexpected sight awaited them. Survivors, including the principal and students. To their astonishment, the source of the music was the cell phone of a zombie in the playground. The zombies huddled together, each one holding onto their phone, from which the music emanated. Every night, the zombies would remain motionless until dawn, presenting an opportunity to kill them. A group discussed a plan to quickly eliminate the zombies. The principal proposed using a school sprinkler truck filled with gasoline to douse the zombies, and then ignite them with a flaming tennis ball fired from a bow and arrow. Although this method was inhumane, they carried out the plan. The gasoline-filled sprinklers were used to soak the zombies, and the flaming projectile was fired, instantly engulfing the area in flames. Many zombies awoke, but the fire had spread to the sprinkler system, causing an explosion that injured the principal and burned the zombie corpses. The group had to hastily flee the burning school. As they took refuge in a nearby house, one of the survivors, Clay, had a disturbing dream about a red-clad zombie. Not only Clay, but the entire group had the same disturbing dream about a red-clad zombie character from Clay's comic book. Unsettled by this shared nightmare, they continued their journey towards Clay's home. Before nightfall, they reached a bar where many other survivors had gathered. The bar had a welcoming atmosphere, leading the group to let their guard down and enjoy a rare social gathering in the post-apocalyptic world. After the impromptu party, the group went to sleep. However, one woman in the group was awakened by a mysterious sound coming from behind the door. Curious, she leaned in to listen more closely. As the woman was investigating the mysterious sound, Clay also woke up. When he approached the woman, a mutated zombie suddenly attacked her. The commotion woke the rest of the group, and they engaged in a fight against these evolved zombies. Unlike previous zombies, these new ones could transmit mutation-inducing sound waves through their mouths rather than requiring physical contact. Clay narrowly escaped an attack, and another group member, Alice, was severely injured while saving Clay. Unfortunately, Alice did not survive her injuries. Only Clay and 3 others remained after Alice's death. They buried her and continued on their journey, eventually encountering 2 other survivors in the forest. Through conversation, the group learned that the lead zombie in red could invade survivors' minds and lure them to a signal tower. They have also managed to capture a live zombie, who turns out to be the brother of one of the women in the group. His eyes are covered to avoid detection by other zombies. However, he still reacts violently when another zombie is nearby, which is unexpected. The captured zombie becomes restless, and a child's voice emerges from him. Clay recognizes the voice as his son's and impulsively removes the zombie's hood. This turns out to be a trap set by the red zombie. Tom neutralizes the zombie just in time, but their location has been revealed, forcing the group to evacuate. They haven't been on the road for long when Ray halts the car. He beckons Clay out of the vehicle, seemingly with something important to discuss. They venture deep into the forest. It appears that Ray has been awake for 3 days and nights, resisting the red zombie's attempts to invade his mind. However, he's now hallucinating and on the verge of mutation. Ray hands Clay a cell phone, instructing him to dial a specific number once he reaches the cell tower. After briefing Clay, Ray urges him to leave quickly as he plans to detonate the bomb. Once Clay departs, Ray triggers the bomb. After a long drive, they reach Clay's house. Clay enters alone, finding no trace of his wife or son, only a note from his son on the fridge. As he's about to leave, he hears a disturbance from the attic. Upon investigating, a red zombie ambushes him. Overwhelmed, Clay is saved by Tom, who heard the commotion and helps kill the zombie. Upon closer inspection, Clay realizes the red zombie was his wife. With no time to mourn, he must decipher the meaning of Ray's phone call. Tom discovers a car loaded with explosives, unbeknownst to the woman. Clay, understanding Ray's plan, decides to head to the signal tower alone. Despite the danger, driven by his love for his son. Seeing Clay's resolve, Tom refrains from stopping him. After bidding farewell, Clay embarks on his journey. He drives through the night, eventually reaching the zombie-infested signal tower. Unfazed, Clay drives straight into the horde, reaching the tower's center where a red zombie stands. He runs over the red zombie with his car, steps out, and fires until the zombie is no more. Suddenly, Clay hears his son's voice, but he knows it's not real. Suspecting his son has become a zombie, he navigates through the zombies to the edge, ready to detonate the bomb. Just as he's about to press the detonator, his son appears. Overwhelmed, he embraces his son. The zombies begin to stir, making strange noises. The red zombie isn't dead, and Clay's son opens his mouth too. Sensing danger, Clay presses the detonator. The explosion wipes out the zombie in the tower. Miraculously, father and son survive and follow Tom's signal to reunite. However, the story doesn't end there. In the movie's final scene, Clay is seen among the zombies, indicating he's turned into one. The crisis persists, and everything appears to be just a dream of Clay's. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.